Damn,
You hear what
bro.
I'm saying?
You see, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is what we dealing with.
We
Like,
Yep.
liven up.
Yep,
yeah, I
yep.
appreciate you, Chief. Thank you, brother.
And we are live. Sound
Sound
mind.
mind. Yes,
Let's go.
sir. Yo, so
Level
I'm
up.
hey. So we definitely, I love it.
We're supposed to
You know what I
practice
miss
first.
I
teaching?
love it. So we are, it is Sunday,
Part
7 p.m., March 21st. Off a historic, and I ain't even gonna shout people out just to shout people out, but a historic battle between two dope MCs, man. And only right that this very next episode, the very next day, is people who have shown love to so many artists, and have become somewhat seen as the blueprint of platform creators and those who have shown enlightenment and empowerment. And not only that, but just helping to expose justifiably some artists from the CT area and all across boards. So this Sunday, 7 p.m., we thank y'all for even joining us and being here with us. We have two dope, phenomenal guests, man. We have Miss Teesh and we have Laray of Level Up TV CT. We salute y'all. Thank y'all for being with us.
Absolutely,
Happy to be
We
absolutely.
know
Happy
we
to
here.
need
be
them
here.
bomb drops on them. Yeah, we know we need them horns on them. Let's go. Hey yo, Hartford, stand up for real, for
Facts.
real.
Super
Let's
facts.
go. CT, stand up.
Yes,
Facts.
sir. Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
You're
So,
saying?
right.
This is definitely we bringing it. Definitely, we talking Hartford today, man.
and that,
We
and you
we
know,
talk we
so for
talked
the
LES the other day, man. Just
right
talking
now
Yeah.
we on that Hartford. You know what I mean? So now
We
y'all
talk
see
LES. Now we
you
talking that Hartford.
y'all see the heart of Hartford. You know what I mean? So all of y'all who are here joining us for showing support to Level Up, showing support to Sound Mind, showing just being dope yourselves on a Sunday. Go tell people to subscribe. Go tell people to like, share. We got Heroes of Color in the building. You know what I mean? So he's here as most times, man, and we support and love, and you know, we thank you for showing that support. So we're
Yes.
gonna have a dope
Thank you,
discussion.
brother.
We definitely gonna have a dope discussion. And so I gotta get it, I gotta get it off.
Let's
My
go.
first
Get it
question.
off.
um it's a two-part question. And it's an alley-oop. And so bear with me. The first question that I have, are any of y'all artists or have ever been artists, whether it be a singer or MC or anything like that?
Oh yeah,
No.
let's go.
Oh,
No, well, I'll say I'll answer from my perspective, and Tish, you could talk from yours.
I don't know if I want to.
So, initially, me and my man Pimp, we created the show, developed it in his studio. Um, Pimp was the CEO of a label called Five Corner ENT, where he did everything, wrote, produced, did videography, everything. So um I came into it uh honestly just supporting my man. Um but like I said, he was the one that had the talent and all of that. Feel me? I brought my visuals to this thing.
So you automatically stepped into this space in the mindset of supporting an artist
Oh, absolutely. That's
automatically.
not just any artist,
Yeah,
because
not, I mean, what I mean, yeah, not just any artist. Yeah,
and,
your
and I
artist.
and I say that because, and I like to say this when I get the opportunity. Like, I was kind of bougie. I was like most people in Hartford. You like who you like. You like your boy from your block. Everybody else is corny.
Yep.
Um, and just to use a word that is throughout there. So initially, I wasn't somebody that did support Hartford rap or CT rap. I
Talk to
supported
him.
my man. You get what I'm saying? And fortunately enough, he was talented, and my friends were talented. So I wasn't just supporting some trash, you know.
Yeah.
Well, me, I could definitely say I tried. I'm not an artist. No, I did. I try. I think I am sometimes. Like I'm a shower singer, definitely. Some notes sound good to me. But like when I was, I want to say 13, I did me, a cousin, and a friend. We called ourselves LSD. LSD. Shout out to Shatoya and Daphne. I was
Oh,
Felicia.
so pause. Y'all getting the exclusive because I
So,
didn't even know this.
Oh yeah, exclusive.
So she had the
Hey,
title before
and y'all
Kim
don't want to
Bottom.
hear the lyrics to that song either.
So at the age I was, we made a really inappropriate song. You know, we were around a lot of like people who were in the studio and these other twins that went to school with us that rapped, and they had a song called Damn Girl. So we played around and we remixed it. Damn boy.
Oh.
So it was like really inappropriate song. We made it in the studio, brought it home. My parents was like, Rashawn was all into it. Pup. Let me call him Pup. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm formal.
Oh, I'm Pup in Hartford, but I'm Ra here.
Okay, Ra. He, of course, he was all into it. He was already like rapping, and he had people coming in our computer room. He was into the Fruity Loops. Like when he was not home, I would go get on the computer and sneak and try to see if I could go on Fruity Loops and see if I knew what I was doing. Like I wanted to be a part of it.
Oh, I ain't know that. I ain't know that you was sneaking on Fruity Loops.
I definitely was. That's when it was like AOL. We had dial up. Like so it was a lot. And Theo, our oldest brother.
Yep, you kept getting phone calls. Got to put your junk on do not disturb.
Super facts.
No.
Exclusive.
Real
So
talk.
TH was with the.
Yep, they still calling you back.
That's your nephew, Jason. He blows my phone up.
Oh man.
So he was with the Paper Boys. I had nothing to do. So over the years, I just was like, you know what? I started watching Love and Hip Hop. Yandy was the first time I was like, I'm gonna be like her. I'm gonna be like a little Hartford Yandy Smith.
Okay.
And I started talking to Ra about it, and then I joined DME, and we had DME, and we had the DME Cypher Sundays going on. And I just, from there, I was like, I'm just going to host all type of shows. And I started managing a local artist, Jody Bars from Hartford. And she had an interview on Swag TV. Yeah, shout out Jody Bars. So Swag TV, we went for this interview, and that's when I met Laray and Pimp. So I'm watching their show. They're interviewing Jody Bars. And at the end of the show, I was like, you guys, I think y'all need a female touch. And like, I would be interested in coming helping out with the show. And maybe about a week or two later, they called me on three-way and invited me to be a part of the show. And ever since then, me and Ray has been stuck like glue.
So let me tell y'all what was going on our side of things at the same time. So once we started doing research on Jody and recognized who was her management. I mean, from researching Jody, a lot of her promotion was through Teesh.
Yep.
So we was able to get in tune with Teesh's personality through her promotion of Jody Bars. Yep. So when we booked Jody, we already was planning on snatching Teesh. Sorry, Jody.
Had the foresight already.
So, and this is why I asked y'all this. And now we're gonna go into the proper introductions. We just Pulp Fiction that because I want people to understand how dope y'all are, because although you have kind of like your branches may reach based off of other people and the love of others and support of others, y'all are, and I'm gonna let y'all formally introduce yourselves so that people could see the dopeness in which these are not two people who said, yo, I want to be an artist, and because of that, my love of that, now I'm showing love to everybody else. Y'all straight up said, because of support of others and dibbing and dabbing in certain ways, because of personality, because of characteristics and charisma, you seen the value in what y'all do. So if you can, please tell the people what Level Up TV is and who y'all are and what is it that y'all do for the Hartford area of Connecticut.
Okay.
Ladies first.
I'll go first. I'm Teesh from Level Up TV, co-host, behind the scenes, all types of just everything. You know, we're just like a one man team. Like we all do everything together. That's me. Go ahead, Ray. Take the floor.
Laray, co-founder of Swag TV, co-founder of Level Up TV, host, producer, director, everything.
Wait, let me throw
Okay,
something else in there. I
We
almost
like a
forgot.
team. We
I
like a
forgot
team of
something.
Marcus Smarts.
I forgot something. The first lady
Hey,
of Swag and Level Up TV.
let's
Let me
go,
just
let's
throw
go,
that up.
let's go,
They love
let's
when I
go,
do
let's
that. They
go,
love when
let's
I do
go.
that.
Drop the bomb on that
And
one.
without,
Drop the bomb on that one.
absolutely. And real talk, we gotta, before we even go further, we gotta give a big shout out to the rest of the team because
Absolutely.
we couldn't do it without them. Shout out Dana,
Shout out
super
Brian
engineer.
Hart, V Ness.
Shout out Grindhigh, V Ness. Shout out
Yes.
DJ Face,
Shaba on the track.
Jabo on the Tridac.
Yes.
The whole squad.
Look at the team. The teamwork make the dream work. And I mean
Absolutely.
that, definitely I really want to push for, the family, the Hartford family, CT family, and now nationwide family to tap in with Level Up TV because you really get the the exclusive, the heart of Hartford. It's crazy that this title is called The Heart of Hartford, but you really get the heart of Hartford when you watch the show because you're getting real local artists, real artists that are, in the industries from where they talking about, actually making a name for themselves, in the city. So definitely I encourage all of our listeners to tap in with Level Up, tap in with Teesh, tap in with Laray, because it's just only getting started. But we've about to get into the background of when it got started, because how long have Swag TV Level Up been around?
Whew.
Shit. What we got, like 7-8 years in this?
Ooh.
Wait, it's only.
I came in after, I want to say, year one.
See,
this came up a couple times. Let me just ask this clarification question. What's the difference between Swag TV and Level Up TV?
Just a transition.
Yes.
That's all. And honestly, it is just an absence of my partner, Pimp, aka Bob Swagger.
Shout out to him.
Once he in college right now.
Okay.
Doing a few years in college, but when he went away, the team thought that it was only right.
Stop, man, stop. I already know what, like, the way you describe my college is like he's locked up.
Like a little late, like a little late, like
yeah, I heard that. Like he did a little time, like, you know what I mean? Yo, he went away to college for a little bit. You know what I mean? Wait for a little bit. He's just doing some time right now. I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? The books and bars is about the same.
School of hard knocks, But when he went away, I mean, every season we look to try to get we try to reinvent ourselves in some type of way.
Right.
But when we reached that stage, we thought it'd be a good way to reinvigorate our fan base, reinvigorate ourselves too, because it was a tough time.
Yep.
Yes.
And real talk, everything that's in the name, leveling up. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
We had to level up from, Swag TV.
So starting back from Swag, like, I mean, you've had countless of artists. So can we like paint the picture of, why you started it, what it was, what type of impact you knew it was going to make for the community? What impact were you trying to make for the community, in a sense, like break that down for us. Like, take us back to the beginning, and then when you started getting your interviews of who you picked and why you picked them.
Okay, so
Start, Laray.
like real talk, it all started with one night we was in the studio during the session. I saw the camera just sitting around. It was a camera that we used to catch footage of us out at night.
Yep.
That would like promotional footage for the music. And also doing videos and stuff. Like I said, my man, he was a videographer. He was jack of all trades. So one night I'm looking at the camera, so I grabbed the camera, and during the session I start recording myself asking the different artists that were there at the session questions. And when we look back at it, looking back at it now, it was trash. Feel me? We've come a long way. But that was the seed that put Bob in a position to go for a book of ideas that he made, another stint he did in college, of ideas. And we took that idea and developed it to be modernized, and tapped into our resources and made it happen.
Right.
I want to say you just been hit with a gem.
Yes,
I want to. You just been hit with a gem. Because basically, you know, like we could laugh about it now, but like you wouldn't even be able to laugh at it, nor will be able to respect the legacy that came after why it's funny in comparison if you didn't put out the so-called trash. Like, you know, plants grow from fertilizer, like one man's trash is another treasure. Like, I keep hearing this from experts. The thing that they first started is a thing that nobody wants to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Because every single one of them started with something that you would consider trash looking at them now. That, for those of you watching this who are still beginning, don't get mesmerized by us or anybody else you look up to without understanding they were where you once were. And not only did they like take a chance, and let me back up to just to say why what you said was so powerful. It's because of this. A lot of times people say, just take a chance and see what happens. But people misinterpret that because they go, I took a chance and it didn't work. Mm-hmm. I took a chance and it was trash. So I feel now it's incumbent upon us to tell people, no, all these people you look up to, they took a chance and it was trash. It's working if it's trash. When you first start, it is. I just love how you phrase that. I don't think anybody else could have. That's
Shout out
what
to
we
Heroes
really
of
need
Color
to
who
say.
says progress is a great motivator.
Great motivator.
Like that ties into what you're saying right there.
There's no, it seems like there's no doing it wrong. The only wrong is not doing it and getting that thing out there. And then you're gonna pave over it and pave it better as we go, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think not to cut your wisdom, but I think the other gem that was in there too was what you said. You know what I'm saying? Like you and your man was sitting out, seeing the camera, and put usage and utilize what it is that y'all had and brought to the table together to be able to create something. And now, I don't even want to say ironically, I want to say geniusly, have now called it level up, because based off of the fact that you have leveled up from where you were at one time and now on a different level. You know what I mean? But I think the gem in that is also, you know, a lot of people, man. But a lot of people, for what it's worth, man, a lot of people don't know how to engage with others and understand that, you know, for the most part, if you ill with your sword and I'm nice with the gun, let's go to war together, you know what I mean, instead of going to war against each other. You know what I'm saying? And being able to build foundations and build the proper bricks upon bricks, just being able to understand that the last brick is going to be built together from all of us putting into that table. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's so dope, man, because a lot of people will always, you know, especially us, man, black and brown, we always constantly trying to figure out how we can't work together so that we can sit there and say, nah, all the credit needs to come to me. You know what I'm saying? But if you searching for credit and you're not understanding that because you're doing that on a solo island, you're actually defeating yourself without even getting yourself in the ring. You know what I mean? So shout out to y'all, man. I salute that frame of thought.
I mean, that alley oops to the part two of the question, actually. Of like,
Right.
where did you see this going? What impact did you see it having?
So honestly, I and Teesh can attest to this. I'm a pretty modest guy, you
Very
know,
honest.
and up until it comes to this show.
Mm.
So
There we
we
go.
knew
Now you can talk your shit. There we go.
No, but and honestly, it's and how I frame it is all. It may sound kind of like bolstering, but honestly, it's from a place of being in a position to be a resource. You get what I'm saying? The better the better we can do as a team is building a platform to be as viable as possible for anybody that come and spend an hour with us.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? So we saw this being exactly what it is. We saw it being a viable resource for people to come and market themselves. You get what I'm saying? We've been fortunate that we were forward thinking, where initially it started as a way to promote music, but the time and energy that we put into it, we've been able to expand our reach to include everything.
All
You get
types
what I'm
of
saying?
business owners.
You expanded beyond the music and became a brand.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. So somebody, I mean, you part of your question too was the artist. Okay.
Right. I would let Teesh ask. I was gonna ask Teesh, can she go ahead and answer the third part of the question on how the selecting artist process and what went into that process?
Honestly, the selecting artist process, I feel like, it wasn't nothing where we was just okay, let's just have you on a show, and then we're gonna have you on a show. Like, a lot of the artists came to us. So we didn't really have to go asking, oh, can you be on Level Up TV? Because once, when we had this show and everybody knew what was going on every Wednesday, they were coming to us. We needed to be on Level Up TV. So like the following, the music, if they got a video, like when it came to the artists, like, it all depend on like their dedication. Like, it wasn't, we didn't just have no popping artists. Sometimes we had some people who was, mediocre, but they still deserved to shine. It wasn't no taking nothing away from nobody. Everybody deserved the spotlight because everybody had a dream and everybody had a vision as an artist and what they wanted to do. So, we didn't just, like, we want everybody who's just popular, or we know this name, so we're going to have them on the show. No, they could come too. Like, or we could put together a cipher. We could put together a cipher, and we could include people who some don't really know about, and we could also have a popular name, and we could put them together. So now we got the people. Now we got them. They're getting their,
And I
as a
actually
guest,
did
that
see
was
that. I
always
did
dope
see
to
that
me.
too. I did see
Like,
that. I did see
numerous
that.
times I was on this show, like I just got thrown together with people, and it was like sometimes I knew them, sometimes I didn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a great feeling. It's
Yes,
a great
definitely.
feeling.
We
But
didn't want everybody to know like what to expect when it came to like the artist and the interviews. Like, it wasn't never the same show.
But real quick, what you just said, that was a gem. Did you realize like that's an attitude of building up a strong movement? Because that's what I got. Like when I told Rob, I was like, yo, do you realize like they need to be given their flowers tremendously?
appreciate that.
Like they need to be, and what you was just saying was that you was like, look, it's not always about who had the popular name of this and that, like, or even who had the sickest rounds at the time. Like, you're building up and letting them know we're in like a community or what have you. But did y'all realize that attitude was the attitude of building a movement, and instead of just like a king
or community?
of the hill,
You say
like
movement
I'm
or
better
community,
than you.
Right.
Did you realize that? Like, was that an active decision or just like how y'all was feeling?
That's just our vibe.
So and that's all facts. I mean, I want to kind of elaborate a little bit on the selection process. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be honest, the platform part of the platform development is being selective, kind of selective about who we brought on it to initially develop it to where somebody will feel like is a viable platform.
There we go. Yes, yeah. Give us those details. Those details, like how you filter.
Right. So it's certain. So it's honest. Like we've had everybody on the show, and not just Hartford, because there's some viewers on here that's like, hold on, what about when Ty Henny was on there?
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Springfield, New Haven, like we've
exactly. What about when Nori was on? What about when Noriega was on?
Noriega,
you get
like
what I'm saying?
we was doing it. Like, and those we wasn't them. That's just us. Like, oh, they come into the club. Oh, ARAB at the club. Oh, Noriega at the club. Let's go to the club. Bring the camera. Let's go to the club. Now we in the club. Yo, can we
talk that talk?
Get a little interview? Like, can we ask them a few questions real quick? And you know, the more you push, they gonna let you do it.
And then it got to a point to where we start getting invited to spots.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? For our Nori interview, we had the whole club to ourselves. You get what I'm saying?
All of ours.
You get what I'm saying? So,
y'all had a Drink Champs exclusive.
part of being able to be spotlighted by you guys is putting that effort into developing the platform, being selective, not like you guys said. I mean, it's not having just the hot artists, because we have the hot artists. You get what I'm saying? But it's also having somebody who we recognize he have a marketing plan.
Right.
Where when we bring them up on here, everybody all our fans may not dig their music, but some of our fans can take some pointers and some gems from them to be able to explain how they've developed a marketing plan and why is that important. You get what I'm saying? Is all different type of motivations that we look for to be able to bring somebody up on the couch and conversate with us.
So just to be a reality check, you wasn't saying, all right, we gonna have, like, looking back, like we talk about this, we even argue about it. Looking back on some of our previous episodes of SoundMinds, we gonna be like, yo, that was trash, or this part was trash, or we could never do that again. You know what I'm saying? But we not purposely doing it, right? Like, we're not saying, okay, here's a trash person or here's a trash thing to do. We're knowing that we're gonna do some things that, looking back at, we'll say, okay, that was right. So you wasn't just going along saying anybody, if you in the Connecticut, Hartford area, you get on. That it wasn't like that. But it was like, oh, if you are going somewhere with it, you know what I'm saying? If you was doing something, we will walk with you. Yes. But we're not gonna like babysit you and like you gonna come, because that's part of building the movement too. You're not gonna make fun of all these people that is working hard to build up the scene, right?
Absolutely. So we've been honestly, and part of that, not being humble, is recognizing that first and foremost, we've been able to see the progression of Connecticut music.
Yep.
Partly because we was in it 10 years ago, and we had to research the scene in order to get the best possible people to help us to develop the platform. Now is a plethora of wonderful talent that ain't exist. Like, that's why Kaim, you had to come on there a couple of times. You get what I'm saying? Feel me? Because we got to fill this hour with quality.
Yep.
And not just quantity. You get what I'm saying? And now we in the, like I said, we being in it, we've been able to watch the progression, and like I said, not being humble, like I can say we've been a part of that progression.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? We had Fuego Bass come on the show when he was just decided he wanted to be a rapper. You get what I'm saying? Now, the last time I had him on the show, he got a signed deal.
Yeah.
Woo!
He's been hit with another gem.
You know what's wild?
We had the versus effect before it was a versus.
There you go. And you know what the crazy thing is, right? The parallel as I'm sitting watching y'all speak, you and Teesh, and that's kind of why I started the episode the way I did, just to kind of let it be known. There's not a agenda based. I am an artist trying to put other artists on because I'm trying to get put on. You know what I mean? There's a genuine love and passion that I see straight off the back of what y'all doing. And the funny thing is, man, the parallels to a lot of what the mind state and the thought process seems, it's kind of like what we doing here with SoundMind, where it's just kind of like, yeah, we have our veins reach where we can get other artists who other people know and so on and so forth. But it's more so about building up those that are not necessarily yet known fully, but you should get to know, whether it be, any episode that we had where it was an artist or anybody who doesn't necessarily has built their platform to where it will be. It's just more so, yo, we're alley-ooping all of y'all to understand this is a dope person. So this in no regards, and this is, I guess, my humility turning into reality is whenever we do reach out to anybody and we say, yo, we want y'all to come on, rest assured, it's not because we feel like we winning in any way other than showing the world how dope you are. And I don't care if you have 3 billion followers to 30 people. You know what I mean? And I think it's very well, it needs to be overstood that when we reaching out, it's not because we, in all due respect, it's not because we need it. It's just, yo, we see value in the
on that one real quick. Drop a gem bomb on that.
And I think that is dope to kind of have that. You know what I mean? I think it's dope to have platforms that don't necessarily ride waves. We're not sitting here trying to sit there and attach our names to anybody else just based off of, yo, we need y'all. Never that. You know what I mean? It's more so, let's build together. If we could build together and there's value in us constructing together, let's do it. But at the same time, even if we don't build together and construct together, and you could get off the podcast and be like, yo, that dude light work the mother, he be talking slick. All right, come check me. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with that. But at the same time, at any given time, it's always love. It's always about, yo, let's build together. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all for having that blueprinted thought, because a lot that's kind of like an extinct dinosaur right now. Not enough people are showing love to other people without there being an agenda of, yo, let me attach my name so that when they get on or whenever they get their 1,000 likes, my name is involved now with their 1,000 likes as well. You know what I'm saying? So I salute that, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
I appreciate that too. It's just
okay. Are you back, Teesh? You back?
Yeah, I don't know. Like first, my phone rang and I declined the call and then I blocked the number. Like I guess people just don't understand. Not disturbed's not working. I don't know what it is.
No, you know what it is? They see you up here shining and they like suddenly I want to stand next to you while you shining.
Nothing. Like I couldn't hear nobody talking, so I'm like, oh, I can hear now. Like
now we heard you saying that too. I was dead. I'm like, yo, why don't y'all like hit her back after? That's like when you doing a show and all these people that like you seen Tuesday like at Walmart or something, you know what I mean? And you was just passing by suddenly you doing a show, they be like, yo, I got 50 questions for you right while you on stage.
I told myself to just do it on my laptop too. I don't know why I dipped on my phone. Like I told myself to do it on my laptop.
That's how it be. That's just how it be.
It's all right.
I wanna shift a little bit into the longevity where that maybe I will even ask, did it even play into you changing the name to Level Up? Was there any struggle? What struggles did you face as far as whether, you being a platform that supports artists, but the support maybe not being, reciprocated, or like maybe networks were not trying to push things of that nature? Like, was there any like pushback, or what type of struggles?
That's a great question.
Did you get into that maybe went into the change of the name and things of that nature?
Well, before the change of the name, even like when we first started, it was a struggle.
Okay.
my partner Bob, he had a certain reputation that had him in some conversations at the radio station that put him in a space not to have too much exposure.
So that's that's like a blackball situation.
I ain't want to say that.
No, I ain't like the reason why I said it because I just heard it.
Y'all family, like, so I'm gonna keep it a stack. He was blackball.
Blackball facts. I mean, just straight up.
Developing this show was our way to kick our foot through the window.
There you go.
You get what I'm saying?
There you go.
I was that face that wasn't recognized in this music scene. I had
clean record
experience interacting with people professionally, so that went a long way. You get what I'm saying? So initially, when we first started the show, Bob wasn't in no pictures or none of that.
Okay,
you get what I'm saying? Myself.
So you took it on to be the face?
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said, so you like took on the position to be like the face of the brand?
Pretty much. I mean, in the streets, people saw us. Yeah. Because we were everywhere, and people knew if they seen me, they saw him, and vice versa. But as far as marketing the show, it was myself. We had B. Davis, that was my co-host and DJ, and then when we brought Teesh on, that the three of us was the face of the show.
Yeah.
Once we
shout out to B. Davis, because that's another radio personality right there in this area.
I learned a lot from B. Davis.
Shout out to B. Davis. I do want to get into some shout outs from y'all too before the show is up. You just said something that also just brought up another question, not to cut you off on what you're saying, but you the reputation aspect of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like because you created this platform and it was able to, yes, y'all use it to push through, the blackboard situation, right? But at the same time, creating the platform, he had a certain reputation that had the struggles, right? That gave it struggles, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm not even talking about media wise or radio wise, even just like in the streets and stuff like that, right? And would you say that because the platform was such a success, it actually brought people together, especially from certain sides?
So I'm gonna say two things to respond to that. Talking about a show.
Yeah.
So when we first started doing the show, I'm gonna tell this story for real. All right.
Just tell the story, Laray. Just tell the
story.
Remember, Laray used to be humble. He don't talk too much.
Right, man.
He had to talk. I'm trying so hard not to be loud mouth. I'm so trying not to.
So part of why Bob was blackballed was from a shooting incident that happened at one of the clubs in downtown Hartford, right?
Okay. I'll just say some street shit.
Between himself and another artist.
Right.
And there was a DJ from the radio station that was there that night. Now, the fact that he knew what happened that night, he brought those stories back to the radio station, and that created that uneasy atmosphere, which led to where he ended up being not welcome.
Yep.
Now, once we started the show and I began to really take responsibility for developing a vision for it, and that's not just messing around with the camera.
Wow.
I could see.
Wow. We're gonna circle back to that. Go ahead.
So
we're gonna circle back to that. You dropping.
But the one show that I could see that could just tell our story was me hosting, my man Bob being the guest, the artist that he had that issue with being a guest, and us bringing the radio DJ to come guest DJ.
Wow.
My favorite show.
Wow. Talk
Craig
about
G
it.
killed it on the DJs.
Talk about it.
Shout out Craig G.
Shout out Craig G, Hot 93.7.
Shout out Craig G.
Came through to the
man.
hip hop
Hey,
festival too. DJ
listen,
that.
I asked him a
DJ my
broad.
first battle.
That was a broad question.
DJ my first battle.
And he hit us with a gem, a specific one that's gonna give you a lesson
That
out
was
of
a
it, right?
necklace, my G.
You heard?
Rob, that was a necklace.
That was one of my
That was a
favorite
bracelet, kid.
one of my favorite shows. But another thing, I think. Well, I don't want to do.
What was the impact of that show? Just real quick.
Yeah,
what was
yeah,
the impact of that show for
That
you
show
personally?
alone gives the
God.
impact
What-
of everything else.
Like, how did that
So-
change the aura for you and the climate and the temperature of the room and the
Oh my
conversation?
God.
There we go.
So us. So first and foremost, we create an atmosphere like you on any other set, BET, MTV, or anything. Feel me? These are our stars, so I treat them as such when
Right.
when you guys come on the set. So
Absolutely.
I think
100%.
having that experience and then how wonderful the show went, it knocked down whatever barriers that was stopping everybody from being able to embrace each other. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And
Let's
them my
go.
guys now. Shout out Gun, shout out Sal, shout out all you guys.
Yes. What's crazy is me, like my first time being there, like me joining the show, I didn't know like none of that. Like, I wanted to just join the show by what I seen and stuff like that. Like, of course I learned the history after. Like, but
You learned
So you just walked right into it.
She
like
realized she
instant.
was in the fire.
just
like that's
walked
how y'all
into-
move through the club. Okay.
Like I just walked in, so like, yep, this is me. Like I just I feel at home. Like I felt at home. Like so, like my first show with Swag TV, we interviewed Mark Shan. He was illegally accused of, I forgot what his crime was, but he got out I think after 27 years. Like that was my first, show. So, I'm coming in and I'm like, we need to do this. I got a whiteboard. I'm like, I'm gonna hold this up. Like we need a timer. Like so they like, okay. Like
Uh-oh. She got another phone call while she talking. Every time she talking, she get a phone call.
it's crazy. Like, and now they calling me
Stop
blocked. I think
calling
they feel like
Teesh,
if I don't
people.
answer
Stop
the phone,
calling
like,
Teesh.
maybe they should call me blocked or something.
Log-
and I'm gonna answer the phone.
Log on to
Like-
soundmindshiphop.com, and
It's
when you
annoying.
finish watching the episode, then you can
Just
call
at least
her.
let me finish. Like at least
Well, ask your questions in the
Jesus.
comments.
right. Like, come on. People just can't pay attention to social media to see that people are busy.
That should be your reply. That should be your reply. Like, text me in the comments, soundmindshiphop.com.
It's crazy.
But okay, so you was walking through and you was just like, look, this but like it's like it remind me of when teachers first go in and they trying to do all these things like they learned in school, and then you got a classroom real, like what was that like going from the whiteboard plan to actually dealing with it?
It was honestly like shout out to my brother Pup Rob. Like, he put me onto everything, that I know. Like, he had me in the basement. Once he built his studio, that was it. Once I seen him build that studio, it was like, oh, like, yes.
Yo, drop a bomb on your homemade studio.
So it's like so after that, like once I walked into the level up Swag TV studio, I'm like, yo, this is gonna be my second home. Like everything felt so like home. So going from the behind the scenes to in front of the camera, it was nerve-wracking because I'm going from recording, like just being live on an app to actually being live on TV. So but like I loved every bit of part of it. Like I didn't like I always like even if I wasn't in front of the camera, I wanted to find a way to be on the camera. Like
is that what made you put it first? Like I feel like you put you put
Yeah, I was
the
thinking in my
brand.
head like we snatched her from y'all shit too.
Yo,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You put it first, like yo, you just took that junk head on.
There's a
you know
lot
what
of
I'm saying?
exclusives on this episode.
You know.
I noticed that.
I mean, yes, like because
Like DME, we love you, but
Yo, we was like, she ain't gonna be on none of them shits.
no,
We taking her here.
I did. Like I took what Rod took me and I teached me and I ran with it. Like I was like, I gotta go. Like I gotta get out the basement.
But you know what though? In hindsight, right? The dopeness of that though is what you just said right now is so imperative. I took what he taught me and I ran with it.
Yeah.
So there's a different, again, this goes back to the whole teaching how to fish or right, you know what I mean? And teaching how to fish opposed to fishing for or opposed to not even trying to feed. You know what I'm saying? So where it's just kind of like, yo, here's some things, here's some thread, here's a needle. This is the way you crochet. Now from that, you know how to make your own clothing. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then it's always like that love where it's just kind of like, yo, if you need any other pointers to kind of finagle and perfect a different style, let's work together to do that together. You know what I'm saying? So
hold on, but you heard how Rod answered the question.
Yeah. He might be he still might be a little stained. I hear the tapedness.
That first.
Yo, I remember Rob one time he was like, "Yeah, I used to do this thing with my sister. It was like the DME site. Like at this moment in time, it now comes full circle."
Wait, I started hosting.
Where he was like, "I used to do this thing with myself."
Yo,
and the rumor is, the rumor is that the rumor is that Ross said that an hour right after that decision was even made. It wasn't even like no time. He was like, yo, I used to do this thing with my sister. We ain't doing it no more.
Hey, Cayenne, we watch all of their shows. We watch all of their shows. Like,
yo, I love the Cypher though, DMV Cypher Sundays. That's my home show. I still watch them to this day. Like I do. I still watch them to this day.
Yeah.
But one thing that you did though, because you put that first, I was able to recognize what you were doing, between the controversy time that y'all was having.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You facilitated, a lot of situations where it made peace, you know what I'm saying? And you brought that medium energy to it also. So
I felt like the light of the show.
What you been telling him?
I seen
everything.
I just seen her. I just look. I'm only going by what I see. I'm only going by what I see. Yes, she told me something.
He's going a little outside of business, Teesh and Rod. Like he going a little to sister and brother right now.
So let me stop because he hear what I'm saying and he hear me trying to fluff it. And in the back of his mind, he like, why Ray Bush? And he acted like this. Maybe we could get the answer like that.
Wait. What we gonna get?
Honestly,
Tisha will say something out here.
When building a team and building a brand, you have bumps in the road. You have people who are there. You have people who leave. You have people who, sometimes they take it for granted and they take the people for granted. And, the day ones is the people that stay from day one.
Yep.
The people that start from day one and leave and, that's not your day one, So like right now we have our level up family. Like it's not our day one level up family. It's not getting like we're going to have more support on the team and stuff like that. But we have the official day ones of the team. I could definitely say that. Right.
Drop a bomb on that.
It's crazy.
It is what it
because
is.
I met Rod like pretty much as a brother, like from day one, like not to keep using that phrase, but like literally I remember the day one I met Rod, we were performing together and he was like a brother, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't like Laray everybody that knows me, like if you in my circle, you like my sister or my brother, you know what I mean? You either like my little sister or brother that's a knucklehead, or you like my sister or brother that's like I got you. You know what I'm saying? But like Rob was like, yo, this dude is like my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Locked in from day
But
one.
I didn't know that Teesh was your sister. And then when I met Teesh on the Level Up show / Swag TV, I didn't even know Ra yet. This was like before I even met Ra. So I actually met you before, you know what I mean? So
and we also I can't like not give a shout out and a rest in peace to my cousin Kelvin, because that's how I met you, Kayam.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all working together at Trinity, putting together them festivals, working with them kids, doing some great work.
Yes, sir.
Yo,
Yes,
your
sir.
cousin was like, your cousin was like the person that really introduced me to Hartford. Because remember, like, and this is where we make the connection of me being between LES and Hartford. Like, I was always when I came here, I was in this environment of like a pretty much white campus. So their thing wasn't really to talk about. You know what I mean? So when I stumbled and fell across the street, I was like, yo, it's mad Latino people here. Like,
he said he fell across the street.
And then when I tripped,
wait, slow down.
I stumbled and tripped by accident.
Light gotta know what that really means, right? He talking about a real college campus I'm talking about like Ivy League college campus, right? He said he stumbled across the street. This Ivy League campus is literally in the middle of the South End hood. So
it's an island.
If you go across the street, you literally on the South End. You know what I'm saying?
Literally across
you in the hood. Like,
and you know, Rob, I always remember that Malcolm X quote where he says, he's talking about how capitalism works, because people are always confused. And he's like, everywhere I've been in the world where you had extreme wealth, you had extreme poverty. That's how capitalism works. That's not like that's how it works. You know what I mean? And shout out to everybody, because everybody who works in the lunchrooms and the cafeterias at all these, whether you're at Harvard, Yale, wherever, just like at Trinity, is people from the hood. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was getting a little bit of flavor of people from Hartford just from the cafeteria. Because honestly, no disrespect, because it's a couple professors on campus that have the students back, but often it's the workers in the cafeteria who is some Black and Latino people of color that's like really looking out for the students, or who you could go talk to more than a lot of professors. Definitely. And if you've been in that environment, you know what I'm talking about. So that being said, I stumbled across the street. I seen my Latino people. I was like, yo, this is like the LES. And then I stumbled across the other street. I was like, yo, it's mad Black people. And then I stumbled across another street, and it was like, because first of all, Hartford is like small compared to New York. So like it got all the diversity of New York on like a fingernail. Yep. And that shit is so segregated, you would never know. Yeah. Like every time I tripped and stumbled across the street, I was like, there's mad Yugoslav, there's mad Brazilian, there's mad Thailand people here. But like, I guess I say all that to say, like, your cousin was my next door neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Like from freshman year. So he was the first person, like, for instance, fam, right? In New York, when we say fam, that's like brother, my people. Here, fam is like what we call a herb in the So
light. That's another thing you got.
Like, you gotta know where you at, because you might say the opposite. So he was like, nah, you know, he said fam, this and that, and he was just speaking that lingo of the area. You know what I mean? So it was like, oh, got you. Like you're from where I'm from. You're from the hood part of where you're from. Like I'm from here, and you're in this Ivy League environment. So that's like a brother, and the integrity, you know, like Light, you would have loved him. You would have loved him, because like integrity is your number one thing, and that's what he was all about. In fact, the last job that he held, he actually came back to the campus, and he served as a mentor on the campus for other students of color in this environment. So like we could, you know, talk about that, but the last time I saw Laray and Teesh in person was when Ra and Teesh's mom had her ceremony of passing on. And so I was really led, like I knew this moment was happening because everything was coming together. Like we have a couple angels on this episode, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Um,
for sure.
so
Wow.
it's just like
Wow.
I do want to bring it back to what you said about how you was able to laugh and be like, yo, this first time I pissed up the camera was trash. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's a certain point where it's about moving forward and really knowing that no matter how street you are or how educated, whatever the thing is that you trying so hard to be, there's people who came before you and are doing that more than you. And guess what? They don't have your worst interest in mind. They want
Right.
you to continue. So you don't have to figure out everything for yourself. Like step forward, and it's a smaller world than you know. Like it's more people rooting for you than you would know.
Absolutely. Just to kind of piggyback off that, like we stand on the backs of like Lorna's Corner.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? 106 in Park and Rap City.
Rap City, all that.
Yo on TV raps. Those
Like whenever somebody asks me about this show, I used to be like, okay, when you think about our show, think about a 106 and Park Rap City mixed together, like type of thing. Like that's how I describe the show to people. So definitely.
Shout out to
even
Hydro.
right now, right? If you say it again, go ahead and say it again, right? We can make this a clip. You can say it again, and that'll still draw the people in. So go ahead and let people know what your show. What is your show like again?
You can compare it to about a Rap City and 106 in Park, you know. But you know now it's not just based off of music. It's more so for everybody.
Right.
So yes. So you'll get a video down, but you can also
106
see
in Park only having politicians during elections.
Right, definitely.
We
Or a chef
Brandon
coming on the
McGee
show,
coming chopping it up.
like, or somebody bringing a banana pudding parfaits for us to sample, like.
So I'm gonna straight up say it right now, Teesh, you got something special. I gotta say that straight off the bat. When you said say it again and she jumped into that, so it's kind of like, you know, yo, she got it. You know what I mean? She already know, like, all right, this is the different shift of you know, the tones. You know what I'm saying? So
influencers.
I gotta ask you a question. With all that being said in the discussion we having, I don't know if this is a question ever asked to you before, and I'm pretty sure you probably asked yourself this and probably didn't. Why? Why are you doing this, and why is it that you're putting your thought process is behind? I'm gonna put other people on one way or another because of my passion. Why that passion?
The passion came as honestly watching, you know, the closest people to me around me. Like there goes the mommy, right? It's always when it's my turn to shine. Somebody always tell it. But anyways, watching the closest people around me, like I always wanted to be a part. Levon, just come here. Just come downstairs. Just be in the interview. Just come
Yo, you heard the inflection
Come
on that
on.
second syllable?
Yes.
Tell my guys.
My man.
Your tablet died. Okay. I
Might as well come.
Right.
She's on television.
Might as well just come be a part of it.
She's on television, cutie.
Like, so
Every
anyway,
time,
so
the whole time we've asked her to talk.
what's crazy is this is like my first actual interview. So this is going to be like a year or two from now. It's going to be like what Laray say. I'm going to look at it and be like, dang, that was trash. Like, but we going to do it again.
Hey, since we being honest,
it's beautiful.
Since we being honest, and this is all for love. Our first season, we had my brother self ordering from a drive-through. We had him with ducks serenading him in the background. Like it was not an episode throughout the first season. So trust what we say. Leveling up is the thing. You know what I mean? So
honestly,
right now,
honestly, I love real. Like mine's is always real. So I love.
Yeah, you gotta be. You gotta be.
Like, but no, my vision was just watching it around me. I wanted to be a part of the music movement. Like, not only did I want to like hold shows, but I seen myself like, okay, I could be on somebody's red carpet asking what designer is their dress and things of that nature. So like, you know, then like starting to work with Ra, I just wanted to make Connecticut popping. Like I working with him, I seen like nobody supported nobody. Like when I started being in the studio with him, I felt like it was just us at one point. Like we didn't really have no support from the outside world. So like, once, we started, I'm seeing the support come in, and then I'm seeing going to Swag TV, and I'm seeing what's out there. I'm like, you know what? I want to be able to be that support for people. I want to show that, Connecticut can support, and we can actually make Connecticut great, because nobody supports nobody out here. Like, it's like people stay
What
stuck.
was it when I came in again? Like I'm telling you, some of the first things before I was in the culture and known as someone in the community, when I was like an outsider looking in at first, and I heard this name. It was like 2 or 3 people that was really like their names was synonymous in Hartford, and one was the Paper Boys, and then I came to find out only later that like Ra telling me like, oh yeah, that's my brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how I started out running around with them, you know what I mean? But you have to understand, like that's like how we have like True Life and some people in the LES, like, okay, this is like a major name, but in Hartford, since it's even smaller, that's like a super name rings bells name, the Paper Boys.
Yeah.
So that's my first part of the question. Like, did seeing them, because like for me, as soon as I saw them and heard them, I was like, oh, they out of here. Like they good. But then it was like, did seeing that make you feel like, oh, they should be more known and respected?
Yes.
Like tell me about
I think that
I
definitely
thought the
sets it
Paper
off.
Boys, I thought, I was gonna see videos. I thought I would have seen them on, 106 in Park type. Like, I was one of the ones. I'm afraid, I'm ashamed. Like I was singing the songs. Like I had it, like, so supporting them, and then it's like, then I was able to start supporting Ra too. Like, so it was like, I had it there. It was not even a question for me to find my way, and it took me a while, but
So
I
you
found it.
realize it wasn't just the talent. Like you early on, you seen there's people with great talent,
Yeah.
even great feedback. It's not like it's not recognized, it's feedback, but there's something about being people shouting you out on a regular basis, that commitment of saying like, oh, go on this platform, talk about me regularly, not just like once at a time.
And it's like when I was a teenager watching all of this stuff, like I was really paying attention. Like Venus, like shout out to Venus, she's a part of our team. She's also a co-host. Venus, I told her, I was like, yo, you came to my house in Bloomfield one day. You was in the computer room with my brother rapping. And I went and I knew a little bit of the lyrics, and she like, word? I'm like, yes, like
Yo,
my room was right
you
next
actually
to
used
it.
to, yeah,
Like,
you remembered her rap. Yeah, I remember that
I remembered
way
her
back
rap,
then.
like, and I told her that, like, and she was like, "Dad, like that was 10 years ago type junk." So it's like I always paid attention.
Wow.
Like,
Which is completely opposite of me, because I ain't get too crapped about what was going on.
But speaking of the recognizing that the support necessarily wasn't there, and like that's what went into my mentality of doing the DME cipher. It was like, yo, let's do a cipher, have the best spitters. Like, we used to have ciphers like with Kid Rich back in the day, and he used to
right.
kill every cipher. And it was like, we need to bring that back and let them shine and have a platform from them to shine. But I realized that it wasn't going to happen within here. It needed a network that was going to be expanded out to the world. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when we started getting sponsorships and things of that nature, 200 viewers a night. And this is when the first time you actually had an app to actually
Go
click
live.
and watch something and go live. Yes, the first time that actually was possible. So, and then for you to take that mentality and say, yo, no, we still need this, you know what I mean? And we and that's the mentality that you still run with, you know what I mean? And that's what puts each and other people that's needed on, you know what I mean? That's what puts each city on. It's somebody within that city that makes those connections. It's somebody that has that platform or is that go-to person, to let us know, like, yo, who's popping out here? You know what I mean? Like, I would that even leads me to my follow-up question to say, like, from y'all experience and all of the artists and people that you interviewed, like, to now, like, who is y'all, like, people that y'all recognize as CT artists, you know, that know you, that hold CT down, that are consistent, that's building their own buzz and things of that nature, like from y'all experience, and who can y'all like shout out?
And first say how long has it been to this year? How many years?
Okay, go ahead, start, Laray. You go.
For how many years for the artist, or
Yeah,
Since you started like embarking on seeing who's doing it in this area where you could really sit back and say like this person looks serious or this person I don't know.
yeah,
right?
shout them out,
So,
man. Let's get these shouts out to them.
well, initially, so like I said, we've been doing this like 7-8 years.
A long time.
Feel me? Initially, when we started out, it wasn't a whole lot of people that took it serious enough to have put out quality music. I'm gonna just keep it 100. It was those specific artists who are on those first shows that showed that type of drive and consistency. You
Right.
get what I'm saying? I think, and it's hard for me to identify specific artists, but I will. I always gotta give Smooth Haynes a big shout out.
Let's go.
Because he was somebody that he as primal and like we're very tribal here in Hartford.
Yep.
Like we stick with who we stick with. But when Sucker for the Nookie came out, you would hear that on any block.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? So that showed that is possible for us to think different than that the usual crab in the barrel narrative.
From the north end to the south end.
Shout out to Smooth Hands.
I wanna go ahead. I'll shout out Kid Rich. Kid Rich was a big supporter of the show. And he also was a Hartford artist. He never not, supported Level Up TV. We can call him to even sometimes come co-host the show for us as well. But he definitely always stayed in touch with me too. Like Teesh, hit me up to see if I want to host any shows. So definitely big shout out to Kid Rich.
And somebody that's very consistent.
Very consistent and very talented with the bars. Always have been talented with the bars. Listen, man, right? I'm talking about, man, this is somebody that I used to ride with every day. I'm still my brother to this day, even though we not with each other every day like how we was back in the day. But I'm talking about back in the day, every day. You feel me? So I'm talking about this dude is very talented. I seen him crush ciphers. I seen him crush battles. You know what I mean? And songs on top of all of that. So shout out to
check out
Kid
the
Rich.
Spillage with him and my man Wax and Co. Because that's
definitely. Shout out Hamp too.
Shout out to Hamp.
Hamp not a rapper no more.
He not a rapper no more.
You talking about rappers, Teesh?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Hamp. Shout out to Hamp.
Hemp is an entrepreneur
for the entrepreneurship. Yes, sir.
He's a philanthropist right now.
Yes, sir.
We can't not give Guns a big shout out.
Yes, definitely Guns.
From the Diamond Guns days, to what he's continues to do. Feel me?
And that's another name that rings bells in Hartford. You know what I mean? That was another one where at first I was like, oh, you got a number of people that like people can go back and talk about. We have spitters here.
Yeah.
They always talk about Diamond Guns. Matter of fact, when I first met Dime, I was honored. You know what I mean? Like she was a celebrity walking around here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the type of stuff that artists taking it seriously and you providing a platform creates. That's when you doing it, right?
Hey,
when it's not like, oh, you spit in that cipher one time and I remember, but people who don't even know hear your name and salute you.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. Shout out to a classic Guns De Niro song that popped in my head as soon as you said that. It was like, I'm probably sure nobody even remember this because it wasn't like a popping song, but it was on the project. But he was like, Guns De Niro, guns De Niro, guns De Niro.
We're gonna just play that little. We got to record that little clip and just throw it on.
He don't know. He don't know. He don't know that nigga just. Hey, we used to listen, man. We really used to listen. You know what I'm saying? Even you know what I mean. Even though we was paper boys all day, but we definitely used to support, Diamond Guns, man.
Right. I mean, another artist, two artists. I'm gonna try to cut it like as short as possible because I got a couple that I definitely want to mention, but two artists that how they put together music is tremendous. Like these guys really make hit songs. One is my man PIMP.
I definitely go. I'm with that.
Another one is Oscar Black.
Yeah.
Oscar Black. Shout out to Oscar Black.
He definitely put out great music.
Major.
But then
he's like a frontliner for Hartford. You know what I mean? When you picking like frontliners, like who would you put in the BET Cypher and stuff like that? Like he's one of them cats that you would expect to see him, in my opinion.
Definitely. I'll give a shout out to Jody Bars. I want to give a shout out to her. Because that was my first. That's the first artist I've seen in my vision, and I honestly like I'm sure she still got it. Like she's one of the hottest female artists in Connecticut. I mean,
All right, for female.
Then wait, go ahead. I know we got going next. I was going to say her, but you could go ahead and say her. I was going to do her next, but if you go,
my favorite female artist in Connecticut.
Okay, go ahead.
One of our co-hosts, V-Ness.
V-Ness.
I said I was going to do her. Female artist. She one of the dopest writers in Connecticut. Trust me when I tell you.
I co-sign that 100%, and she knows that. I ain't even gonna go crazy like
V-Ness. V-Ness. No, it's not even a question. Like it's not even a question. Like she already
another female artist. That don't get it as much publicity as she should. If the right ears hear this woman, she'll be a millionaire. Keela Miles.
Keela Miles. Let them know. That
This Add Water is one of the
soulful
projects out of Connecticut.
Soulful.
Say it again. Soulful.
Like to your core.
That's definitely up my lane right there. I need that. I only do soulful,
bro.
I need that soulful.
Come on now. Like as soon as they step on this podium and then they grab the mic, you already feeling like, oh, pay attention.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
That's her.
So the kind of fast forward to some more recent names. Shout out my man Fuego Bass. He just signed the BSF. Shout out Sholey from New Haven.
I want to shout out TMI Bass. He got some hot tracks. I don't know. Y'all can check him out. He sends me music sometimes, so I'll give him a shout out. Who else we got?
Shout out Brillo.
Bet.
Yes, Brillo. We had him.
He signed a Rough Rider.
Listen, look, y'all showing y'all catalog right now because this is the value that y'all hold in Hartford to knowing the artist. So keep on going, man. Let's go.
But you see what I'm saying? Like they could go down the list. Like not only is they saying it's like a legion. It's a legion of talent, and that's why a lot of people who haven't really been out of Hartford. Like in New York, like back in the LES, we got the block thugs. You know what I mean? Like it's certain people. It's so many big projects in our area. It's certain people that never needed to or did leave the block to the point where 3 blocks down from them is like a foreign country. But when you leave our neighborhood, it's like y'all just y'all them dudes in the hood over there. Like that's the project. You know what I mean? But when you on your block, it's like that's them dudes over there. You know what I'm saying? But like Hartford is 1/10 of the size of New York.
Right. And you know what's even scarier?
And there's still so many more to go. That's what
I was going to say.
There's still so many more to go. And we don't even got to go. I do want to, but for the sake of time, we're not even going to go down the list. I want the listeners and I want the viewers and I want, you know, the companies to reach out to Level Up TV, reach out to Teesh to
Right.
know who to contact, to know what to get with. So this is what we just did. We showed y'all value just now with that,
And
man.
I ain't even.
Y'all went down the list.
I'm gonna be real with you, and
Yeah.
this is not, you know, but again, me being from the outside insight, heard all your lists, and trust when I say I'm gonna start looking at all these people. I'm probably gonna run this episode back and start one by one. But you know, then you know, for the most part, man, when Rob, my brother Rob, put me up, and Kai as well, put me up on Cambada, and I was like,
Oh yeah,
yo, this dude right here is different. He's
That's
a
why I said it's so
special
much. It's so
dude.
much more to go. But
It's not
definitely
a
shout
I
out to
joke.
could only
Cambada.
imagine. Yeah, I could only imagine, man.
Cambada
So, and
definitely got to get on Level Up TV.
yeah,
But
he's
keep in mind, Teesh came out with LSD first, Kevada.
Yeah, boy.
So I gotta say, with all that being said, what is the current and what is the futuristic vision of Level Up TV? If you don't mind me asking that.
Right. So currently we've been like real talk. We film out of Channel 5 studios. And
Hartford
since
Public
COVID,
Access.
yes, and since COVID had been shut down, so real talk that gave us a excuse to stop going at 110, and we've been recharging. You hear my godson in the background, feel
Like
me?
supercharged.
We all been recharging, and I've as technology developed through COVID, I've like tested to see if I wanted to like have this type of platform or maybe a different type of visual, but nothing was necessarily appealing to me, so that it, appealing to us, I should say. But now that things are kind of relaxed a little bit, my anxiety done went down a little bit. We've been able to communicate with each other, and we kind of going back to the roots.
Yep.
We going back to being in the streets, people seeing our cameras everywhere,
Just popping up with it. Like
and being so one thing we recognize that is dope, having somebody come and get the lights, camera, action. Some people be nervous. You see the sweat bubbles on the top lip and stuff. You see the lip quivering and everything. And I think that give a dope aspect. You get what I'm saying? It kind of sharpen the still. But I think, like I said, us going back to the roots and going to meet the artists where they are, going to meet the entrepreneurs where they are, going to meet all of these people that are leveling up where they are. I think that adds a level of comfort, and then put people in a position to be a little bit more thoughtful with their answers and their responses. So that's what's
they can
next.
show us, like, you know,
Level Up is on the road.
Absolutely.
Level Up is on the road, fully independent.
So for the future, coming to we still partner with our family at Channel 5 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say that. Oh,
But
nice.
you live in that name, that
If,
level
like,
up
trust
name.
me, like, yeah, we still there. If needed, we could do
But
it.
look at what he
like,
said, family. He said partnership. Once again, partnership is everything, man.
Next
Partnership.
level.
Do you want to talk about that? How that actually worked out for you?
So shout out my man Booby Trap, aka the best food, one of the best food trucks in Hartford, the best vegan food truck, I should
Let's
say.
go.
Shout out Booby Trap.
But I had the pleasure of being a co-host on his TV show. So initially, when we started Swag TV, it was all pre-recorded and more through YouTube.
Okay.
So he, through doing the show with him on television, he made the suggestion, made the connections, and put me in a position to bring our show to TV Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Channel
Yes.
5, Channel 96.
Shout out Hartford Public Access Television.
HPA TV.
Dope. That right there, partnering with a network. You know what I'm saying? To know that you have a machine, at least, you know, to push it to a a good amount of numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
What would you say that has benefit? You know, is that a benefit for Level Up?
Absolutely.
It's definitely a benefit. Yes.
Okay, most
I
definitely.
think it, so we became established by being in the streets, being recognizable in those different venues where people were developing their craft, you know. But once we brought it to TV, and with thousands of dollars of equipment at our fingertips, and it put us in a position to open our doors to a couple of people that wasn't necessarily welcoming to these two brothers from Western Street.
I feel like it was a big benefit too, because a lot of people, like, you know, when we're setting up these interviews, they didn't exactly know, you know, what they was walking into. So to be able to walk into the studio and then they see like, oh wow, this is an actual real
TV cameras,
TV
everything.
studio. Like, you know, we behind the scenes is 3-4 cameras set up. Like it was the real deal. So like, you know, now people looking like some people who didn't really know, they're like, oh, okay, like thank y'all for having me on the show. So like it was definitely a benefit. But I don't feel like, you know, us, you know, taking it back to the roots is, I don't feel like we're gonna lose that benefit, because you know it's still always gonna be there. I feel like us going back to the roots is just bringing just the more excitement back to Level Up TV. Like, you know, instead of just, you know,
I
being
don't
here
know
every
why.
Wednesday.
I look forward
It's
to this.
I've seen so many shows and been connected in some way to so many shows, and I would say the norm is like, y'all know me, like I lean away from reductionism.
Mm-hmm.
I lean away from sound bites. So I'm biting my tongue right now, not even to go into that, right? But like I don't know why that tends to be the norm. Well, I do. White
Nah,
supremacy,
brother.
basically.
Nah, we not gonna let you. We ain't even gonna let you rock like that.
You know
You
you
got
don't.
something to say?
I'm gonna
Let
say
that tongue speak, brother.
I'm gonna say this. Thank you, Chief. I'm gonna say this.
Sound
I'm gonna say this.
minds.
It helps. It behooves the popular narrative, like we talked about, how me not knowing, you know, the people in my community that I could relate to and look up to were right across the street when I was in college. You know what I mean? That I was surrounded by Black and Latino people. You know what I'm saying? Like it behooves people who are in power right now to not talk about stories of people of color, because then it's easy to just say, oh, they're just this, and make us expendable and treat with us. Not say, oh, that's a father, that's a mother, that's the person who saved this person's life, that's the person who helped this person with this, that's the person. You get what I'm saying? Like that's all too complicated and too emotional and too human. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I could say I don't know why that's the norm, but I feel like that's really, to be honest, thank you, Light. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, Laray. Thank you, Teesh. Like we do know, we just don't have time to say that usually, and that's what I wanted to say. Like shout out to Miles Megacypher in the chat. He just said like, you know, this show is real and it's honest. Like that's a vibe I always got from your show. You know what I mean? Like,
And I think
it's
that
human.
for Level Up, I would want to see more of that on Level Up TV. Let's hear these stories. There's stories to be shared, you know, in the Harvard community, you know, through these artists, you know, and I definitely would want to tap into seeing more stories, you know.
It's an energy, and
Well,
that really brings me to a question too. Like, I'm giving you your flowers, but that makes me have a question. Like, your jobs outside, right? Like,
yeah.
Laray does, like, music therapy and whatnot, and like, Teesh, like, could you tell us a little bit how what you do with the arts informs what you do outside, and what you do outside, how that informs how important you think it is to put artists in a certain light, and display to the youth artists as humans instead of just as like expendable, because
Absolutely.
I know
Well,
you
honestly,
do.
like
My
outside, like
bad.
for work, I am a paraeducator, so I do work in a school with kids.
There we go.
So in the classroom, like, to be honest, like I'm the same. Like, so in the class, when we exercise, or if we're doing music, or if we're doing art, like, I'm there, I'm dancing with them, I'm singing with them, like, like it to me, like I support the kids at my job just like I would support an artist on the show, or like with my family and my friends, I support them. I give everybody the same attitude. So like the happy go lucky or the joking me, like everybody gets that. Like everybody gets this. Like when I bring it to the stage as a host, I'm the same exact way. So, like at school, I feel like at work at the school, I feel like, that they gave me the platform to be able, like, I can perform in front of the kids. So it's like, at work, like I'm picked up on to be like, oh, we might need somebody to host this show at do a talent show, or we had a winter show, and I'm right up front in front of everybody, parents and all, like dancing and singing, because that's just me. Like, so yes, like it definitely gave me the confidence to, just be like that everywhere I go. Like I'm in the car, like I'm in the car driving and singing and dancing at the same time. I got people looking over to me and they're like, and I'm by myself. Like, so like that's just Teesh. What you see is what you get. It's everywhere.
And you know what? I want to, Laray, before you go into yours, I gotta say too, Teesh, I was a parent myself when I was young.
Hmm.
Shout out to you for the work that you do, because I'm gonna tell you straight off the back, the politics behind a lot of that, and what you bring to the classroom. And everybody. So this is not T speaking. This is light skinned George speaking. When I was a para, I know that there was a lot of politics in regards teachers targeting a lot of students. You know what I mean, young and older, and then having to deal with that, and coming from a standpoint of integrity, where I'm just sitting there like saying, "Yo, don't do it." I remember one situation real quick. There was a little Simba. I remember one situation. Part of me. That's my dog. He wanted to make a guest appearance. I remember one situation in which there was a young man, and came in, and I was a para for a couple of days, and I had asked. I was like, "Well, hey, you have this little guy sitting by himself in the corner. Is there a reason behind that?" "Well, yeah, he doesn't know how to do anything." I said, "Well, that's unfair to him.
Right.
So if he's in school, do you know do you know if he's lefty or righty?" "I don't know. I never tried."
Mhm.
I said, "Well, as an educator, maybe you should challenge yourself a little bit better to find out what each and every one of your students are capable of doing, and know that every single one of your students is capable of something." So when
Right.
I sat there, and then the little man started drawing, it was a work of art. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
just that standpoint of integrity, and sometimes knowing that, and maybe this is not something that you may have experienced. Maybe it's more so like you've been more supported more. I know in New York City, there's a lot of dirt behind a lot of things that happen. You know what I'm saying? So me having to kind of challenge teachers at times, and just say, "Hey, no disrespect to your craft and what you're doing. This is what I noticed being an outsider from looking in.
Mhm.
Maybe that should change. So when I'm not here next week, or whoever's the next para, now this child is not still in the corner doing absolutely nothing." You know what I'm saying? So
No,
shout out to you
absolutely.
shout out to you for that. I had to
That's a
say that.
whole
My
nother
fault,
day.
Laura.
That's a whole nother day we could get into.
Yeah.
We could do the pair. Trust me, I could
I,
piggyback like on it. Trust me.
I'm
Like,
telling you,
I want to
goes
definitely,
together.
I want to piggyback on that, and definitely just shout out my sister. You know what I'm saying, and let her know, like, she's doing everything that we just talked about. She is doing this as a single parent. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
I want to, you know what I mean? I want to shout out my sister and holding it down. She's
Chill,
been holding
bro.
it down.
You gonna have the guys. You gonna have the guys hitting her.
Gotta-
You see her phone line already flooded, bro.
Hey man, you better be some high value
Here
men
he
coming in.
is.
So I'm like,
For real.
we never,
For real.
we might even get into that.
Y'all can also see she got a lot of brothers.
Yes.
Fact.
She got a lot of brothers.
You see Laray, he going facts. Laray done joined everything. Like
Don't play
So
around.
this is definitely big family here, man. I really appreciate y'all for
Oh,
coming on
Laray.
here and having this real talk conversation and shining that bright light on the city of Hartford, man. For real, y'all do that, and
And
Hartford,
y'all hold the
Laray
torch for that.
Laray
Yeah.
too. Outside
I
of
say
that, like
y'all hold the torch for that.
with the work you do, just speak on that a little bit. How the work you do outside kind of relates to how you interact with the scene and the importance of the images and the music and how people are seen as humans.
Right. So I'm also in the human service field. What I am talking about is a stint I played at a art therapy studio. I was the assistant manager there, but right now I manage a group home. So I think is a lot of the same tools that I utilize to be successful there. I'm able to translate to what I'm doing with the show. I'm interviewing people for positions, so that put me in a position to be able to interview this brother about his mixtape. I'm in a position to hire people to be a part of my team. Every single person outside of me and Bob that became a part of this team, they were handpicked. Um, from Dana to Teesh to Venus, all of the countless DJs that we've had. Shout out to all of them. And Grindhard, who's the head of our marketing team. The universe put him in our lap. Can I tell that story real quick?
Please tell you gotta tell the Grindhard story. Shout out Grindhard. Big shout out to Grindhard. One of my favorite people.
Let's go.
And I love telling this story. I love telling this story.
I love this story.
One day we was doing a red carpet event.
You gotta say it though. Say it how you say it though. Like grind hard. Let's go. Like, come on. Y'all put that energy into that name.
Drop the bomb.
You already know, man. We gotta drop the bomb on
Reinhardt, the hardest. So when y'all talk about supporting CT artists, there's nobody that supports Connecticut music more than Grindhard. We've been fortunate to put him in a position to do that shit in a constructive way, but it's in them.
It's in him. He loves it.
Absolutely. Man, so one day, like I said, we doing the red carpet. Damn, I forgot her name because she stopped rapping a long time ago. But we doing the red carpet. Shout out Grizz Rock and the whole team over there.
Shout out Princess Nuwabi too. While we saying Hartford people, old school,
definitely.
You know what I mean? Prima Lum.
We setting up our banner, and I see Bob stop helping. Feel me? He stopped helping to talk with some brother that's standing at the bus stop. So he come back over to me and he's like, "Hey, yo, home, he can't talk right there." I'm like, "Word?" He like, "But he know our show." I'm like, "Word?" I'm like, "Okay." That and then like maybe 15 minutes later, I see him having another conversation with him. So that's how that day ended. So after that day, this guy is sharing everything on our page, everything, multiple times. So we like Bob. He has one. I mean, even though he's a street dude and got a certain type of reputation, he has one of the biggest hearts that I know.
Yes.
So he's like, yo, we have to find something for him to do. What can he do? So I'm like, well, shit, he could do just what he's doing now. Like share our stuff.
The
But
number one marketer,
That's a
NCT.
gem.
Let's go.
That's
He
grind
could
hard.
do
Number
what he's
one
doing
and
marketer.
now.
honestly, when it comes to CT music, he's probably the most he's probably one of the most recognizable faces in music, and he
And
hasn't
he
ever said
knows
a
his
word.
music. He knows his CT artists. He could he'll
Never
literally
spoke a
tell you about
word,
an
but
artist
did the
that you
track.
haven't even heard about. We'll be like, well, who that? And he'll put you on. Like, and he from CT. Like, that's grind hard right there. That's he grinds. That's grind hard. Love him to death.
If this platform has put anybody in a position to be able to utilize their gifts, because that's what it's about. That's what our platform is about. Put you in a position to show your shit. If nobody else had been in a position to show their shit, it's grind hard, man.
Definitely. I tell you, grind hard the other day. I told Grind, I said, Grind, we're gonna have a Zoom meeting soon for Level Up. He said we need to get social media going. That was his response. We need a more platform on social media. We need to tap in. Okay, let's get it going.
He gonna get it going too. Yo, shout out. That's a big shout out right there. I definitely see him as a big part of the team.
Yo, shout out to. Go ahead.
Now I was gonna say the dopeness and within. Yo, I'm gonna say it straight up, man. We have spent most of this episode shouting out other people. The dopeness within that is so powerful. We live in a very me attitude. We live in an era where it's just about the selfishness. A lot of work that I do with my clients is making them understand that decisions that they make is based off of selfishness or selflessness. And we need that balance. You know what I mean? And once we don't balance that out, what we become is tainted by either one of the two. So you're either always giving, and that affects you and your relationships because now you become the person that everybody takes advantage of, or you're always taking. And that's that devilish, it's about me. Everything that happens is about me. You know what I mean? So the fact that we spent most of this episode hearing shout outs to other people and showing that love to other people that are part of the team, not part of the team, didn't even have to be mentioned or named, but y'all still chose to, shows, the dopeness within y'all. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, man, it's so fire to see that, because that, real quick, I brought up Ghost and Ray when we came on, right? Ghost and Ray, when they were young,
thus far, my humble opinion,
disgustingly
no
so, disgustingly so. It was crazy. These are two dudes when they were younger, try to take their heads off and bust shots at each other and all that. Got into a group because of people who seen the vision and the talent that they had and said, nah, brothers, we can't do that. Let's build together. Had one of the best verses, and it wasn't even like a battle of tracks. These dudes are, and Ray, a little twisted, Ghost got a little twisted, but they still is so brotherly that you would never.
And it didn't get the numbers that any other verses
at all. I was disgusted by that. Just looking at it, I was like, yo, how you not hitting 2 billion right now? I don't care. The pop, not at all. Not at all.
That's gonna to change.
And that, but that's where it kind of is though. That where, when you see fire content and context or fire people, they don't get that they don't get the ding bells that everybody else that's trash on YouTube is getting. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like, at the end of the day, we live in an era where the celebrations and the celebratory awards that are given out is based off of stupidity. You know what I mean? So to see this type of episode and see that that's being the total opposite, y'all need to shout each other out. You know what I mean? So thank y'all.
Let's go.
With that being said as well, we had a question by Heroes of Color. He said, where can Level Up content be seen? Where can people get this content?
Well, I know a lot of where's some of our
and he's already following Laray, by the way.
Oh, he's following Ray.
He's already following Level Up
my
CT.
Instagram. is kind of difficult because I'm always the difficult one.
No, your Instagram, I believe, is tagged in our. If you go to SoundMind's podcast, if you're gonna fly, I believe we have Teesh tagged in there.
Because it's
She's
Teesh,
not
but
gonna
it's 4
follow you back.
It's
She's
Teesh,
not
but
gonna follow you back. But maybe if you say like, "This is my favorite quote from Teesh on the
I'll
SoundMind," and
follow
post
you
that to your story, maybe she might follow you back.
There
But
you
don't
go.
just
That's
follow
great
her and think you're
marketing.
gonna follow back.
but
What
no,
you
you
say?
can go to Hartford Public Access television. I want to say is hartfordpublicaccess.com. There's
No. Hold on.
No.
It's hpatv.org.
.org. There we go. .org.
HPA
HPATV.org. I thought it was Hartford. I
.org.
thought it was the whole thing. I remember typing the whole thing in one time. You could
HPATV.org.
Google us. You could Google us and look at the images. You'll catch us in the studio. Listen, that's so dope right there. Like, for real.
You get the whole
We're on
thing.
the internet. Like, but you know, our Facebooks, we have some of our live action on our Facebook. My Facebook, you can follow mine. It's my actual real name, Letitia Asbury. So if you want to go follow me on Facebook, if you go to my videos, you'll catch some of our Facebook lives as well. Laray, you have any feedback on that one?
Absolutely. You can catch all of our shows on my Facebook page as well. Also on Level Up TV on
CT.
Facebook.
Level Up
Level Up,
CT on
Level Up
Instagram.
TV CT on Instagram.
How many Facebooks do you have, Lorraine?
Just one. Feel me? But so real talk, we got a squad who part of the management tools that kick in, bringing these people on the team is bringing people who can buy into the dream and buy into the concept, but also people that are doing things themselves. You know, like I said, Teesh was doing big things before we snatched her up. B-Ness, one of the dopest MCs in CT. Dana, engineer, videographer, crazy, and like I said, the countless DJs who all have their own followings. So when somebody takes part in an episode of Level Up TV, they are able to take advantage of all of our followers.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's not just one stream. Like I said, shout out to HPA TV. But we streaming on V-Ness, who has 5,000 followers. DJ Face, who has 5,000. Teesh, who has 5,000.
I even brought Hang With to the show.
Yo, we gonna have to have another episode because and some more meetings. Like I told Rob, part of why we doing this is y'all are just the treasured gems. Like y'all need to be consultants and influencers. People need to be paying you to stand with like their beverage and they you know they clothing store, like you know what I mean. Like y'all is the influencers here, but I got 2 questions. I'm limited to 2 questions on this last episode. But like one thing is, and shout out to Blackiston, Marvelous,
Shout out Blackiston.
Annoyed, Mike
Listen,
Flows.
See, you're gonna start it.
Snowbro.
Don't start it.
There you go.
You're gonna get your questions.
One of the best battlers in the world, Bangs. Everyone in the battle world, if you act like you don't know Bangs, you're lying. And he's from out here. Shout out to Bangs. Shout out to Take That. What is it that you saw earlier, Teesh? You said you saw Yandy and you was like, oh, you know, as a young girl, I could be like a next Yandy. What is it you saw her doing? Because we don't think of Yandy like as an artist, but she does something that's powerful for these artists. Am I correct?
Yeah. Well, honestly, when I was watching Love and Hip Hop, you know, I'm just watching her, you know, manage Jim Jones and, you know, Jewels, and that's what I'm looking at. Like, so, you know, I'm seeing her like, you know, calling these artists and like setting certain things up for them on the show and stuff like that.
Right.
And at the same time, I'm watching Ra build a studio.
Right.
So like that basically took me to where like, you know what, all right, you building this studio. I'm a part of it.
I'm gonna be the Yandy. I'm gonna be the Yandy of the studio. Yep.
Not even probably even knowing that at that age what a manager really was, but saying, yo,
I
this
had
is
no
an
idea.
important
I had no
person.
idea. Like, but I
This
just knew
person
that
is
I was gonna
helping the
be
artist,
something. Like, and I was gonna help him and help
helping.
his artists. Like, I wasn't about to let him just build a studio while I'm just chilling upstairs watching TV with the kids. Like, no, I'm
Right.
about to come down here too. Like,
It's not just about the music and the talent. There's something else this chick Yandy's doing that's even letting these artists be recognized for their talent.
Yep, absolutely. So
And
I
you know,
was just
was
like, I
not to cut your
wouldn't compare
wisdom.
myself now to her. But go ahead, my bad.
No, I was gonna say not to cut your wisdom. The
I hear
dope
you.
thing about that too is also understanding um, the consistency and that things don't pop overnight. You know what I mean? Because speaking about Jewels and I, he was in the same school I was in. You know what I mean? In high school, and at that time, he was being looked to be signed to No Limit as a young kid. He had a little twist and all that. So now to see Jewels later on pop the way he did, and whether it be Yandy or anybody else, but seeing that vision and understanding, like, now we riding it out. You know what I mean? Like, if this don't pop in a week or 2 years, we gonna at least make sure that and to see that type of love and support. And I see that kind of that passion and vision in you, like where you're like, now we gonna ride out. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't gonna be a quick sprint. It's gonna be a marathon. You know what I'm
And I
saying?
just
And
feel
that's
like it's
important.
so much more men. Like, I feel like it's more men in the music industry that's getting the recognition. So when I started coming in, I'm coming in like, okay, I'm coming in as a female, but I'm looking for female artists. Like, I'm starting off like I was the main one. Like, I want to get put together the all female cipher. So I was trying to bring the more women aspect to it, but I was also keeping myself in line to where I was able to stand next to a man. Like, it wasn't no, oh, I can't really do that. Like, no, I'm gonna stand next to you and we the same height.
Would you say now that you've been through that process, you know what I'm saying? Are you now more keen into where you started, like coming back full circle? Now you're like, yo, I need to build this female, movement, female artist movement.
Yes, I'm still definitely all for the female artist movement. Like, I as so many female artists I feel like that don't know which way to go, or it's other aspects that's stepping on their toes. So if I could still be able to show them the way around it, I'm all for it.
Ooh, the next Yandy.
So
Yo, somebody tag
honestly,
Yandy,
like,
please.
before I
Somebody
was hip
tag
hop, I didn't even
Yandy.
know who Yandy was. Like, that's how I was like, I won't really compare
But
myself
start.
to but like,
Do you?
she put herself out there like that as their man.
I need to make
But
this
that's where
abundantly
wisdom
clear to
comes
you.
from, though.
I need to make this abundantly clear to you. A lot of people like Yandy. They like her jacket, might be matching with her sneakers. They like the fact that she's on TV. A lot of people like Yandy. And shout out to Yandy, and shout out to Mendices, and shout out to the whole movement, Mona Scott, all that.
Yes.
But I have not heard a lot of young ladies or young men look at Yandy and be like, what is that person doing that is powerful? She's doing something that is important, and more people need to do that. I swear to you, the majority of people, I need to turn up more after watching Love and Hip Hop. I need to act more ratchet. I need to, go in the studio and rap, which I do. So I'm definitely not hating on that. I'm just saying, do you realize, like, you're a different one? And not only did you recognize what the sister's doing, like, you didn't put her below the men. You didn't put her below the artist. You were like, she does something important and relevant that makes this whole thing work. And I see that in myself. And I wish more of our young people had those eyes to see. And I hope watching this, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. If anybody knows Yandy or connected to that, I think y'all should tag Teesh and shout her out and hook up an interview or something, because Teesh really recognized that in Yandy, and that's how you light the torch, as we say.
Definitely.
We talk about this passing batons and lighting torches. Like, you literally took her lit torch and brought that into our area. So you get what I'm saying? Like, I just want to make that clear.
I had to drop a bomb. I had to drop a bomb on that because
you saw the value of Yandy, not just as a personality. Like, you saw what she did and you created it.
So many gems has been dropped.
And you know what? I'm a add to that. This is why it's important when you see Black and Brown on TV. that is not always a stick figure. You know what I mean? Like there's multiple dimensions to us and what we do. So please, Mona Scott, I'm not just you seem to be the bus driver on this wheel, but there's so many other reality TVs that at the end of the day, stop making ours look so damn crazy.
Right.
And understand that there's other people who are watching that say, yo, this is important for us because I can do this differently.
Hey, you saying we lucky we got one that saw through the crazy.
You feel me? Salute to Teesh to even here.
She actually got inspiration through that surface level craziness.
Right.
Bullshit ratchet asshole. I mean, let me stop.
1,000%. I'll keep going though. I want to say that at the end of the day, this is why the empowerment of ours and us goes so much deeper than just getting money in pockets for people that are just acting a part. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we are as empowering as any other culture that's out there. And this is not to exclude. This is more so to say we need to include the power that we have and stop always trying to feel like we need to sit there and always be the ones selling drugs on the screen, or we always need to be the ones bouncing off a pole just to kind of get that attention. So you know what I mean? So please, our image is as important as anybody else's, and we don't see that from others. And when we do, they're outcasted and excluded and seen as trash. You know what I'm saying? But to us, it's kind of normalized. You know what I mean?
I would love to see an interview between Teesh and Yandy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the type of thing. I would love to see that. And I'm sure Yandy, once learning about Teesh, would love to. And that would be like they will both learn something from each other.
I've jumped in her DM before, so we'll talk. That's another story. Tell us to respond to my message from 4 or 5 years ago. I asked for some advice.
Nah, y'all tell her y'all tag both of them. Tell them
already know, man. Put it in the comments today. Right now, man.
And Laray, a similar note with you, brother. Like you said something early on about once we decided to take responsibility for the way the show is going. And that just collapsed like the whole, again, on the other side, it just collapsed a whole lot of nonsense because you saying so many things in a humble way. There's like a master class, like a $15,000 per hour. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Do you realize what you said? Like, people like to have that. Like when I was in the ciphers, you know what I mean? Even before Hartford and the LES, like, I like not knowing what I was gonna say, and then I said something amazing, and everybody be like, "Oh," you know what I'm saying? But after a while, when you take responsibility, I hate to say this to my younger self, like I love my younger self, but as an adult man now, like that's not my greatest passion. My greatest passion is being expected to do something. And that's what I heard Laray saying. Like once I saw the show and I saw we had a voice and a platform, we started taking responsibility. It's like, do you feel like you're expected to do something, right? Like, do you stop being motivated by like, oh, I happen to have a camera today and everyone's happy because they didn't know we had a camera, as opposed to like, oh, I'm the one that they expect to be here with a platform and know when I come to level up, we're going to be represented correctly with respect. Like we're not going to be talked down to. Do you feel like there's a shift that happens where it's no longer being driven by being a surprise, but by being expected to and living up to that expectation?
I think any type of organization can be beneficial. You get what I'm saying? And making a plan. So anything you do, if you got a plan, is more likely that you're gonna be able to see what you're trying to do to out through to fruition. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So once we like stopped just winging it and came up with a plan, we could see development. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Development and outside of just like our level of comfort raising, but development into what the capabilities of the platform really was. Right. You get what I'm saying? And with that came that responsibility that you're talking about. Like, first and foremost, we recognized it wasn't anybody doing what we were doing.
Yep.
We also recognize that in order to frame the quality talent that was here, like we had to have a crisp frame for that work. It couldn't be quality work being put out through a bogus platform.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So as the quality of the work that we started to see begin to develop, even the quality of entrepreneurship, the quality of social engagement, as all of that stuff started to evolve, fortunate enough, we've been here to be able to evolve with it, and in some aspects, be a motivating force in that evolution. I mean, so
you
that's
did
where the
that.
responsibility
You did
comes,
that.
you know?
You did that.
And it was a point where, you know, and we did reach that point where we were expected at places, like, to answer your question, like, you know, before, like he said, it came from a point where we were winging it, you know, just showing up and forcing ourselves into it, to a point where it was like, okay, hey, can Level Up TV be in the building? Like, so yes.
And
Thank you.
y'all speaking to the spirit, man, just based off of the fact. I tell everybody at all times, be the best representation of yourself, so that when you're representing others, there's never never a question of your quality. And the second thing that the bomb gotta get thrown, stop winging it. I even say that SoundMind at times. You know what I mean? Like, I tell my brothers all the time, like, yo, we in the fourth season, we've been winging it. You know what I mean?
He blew up my camera. Look at my camera. He blew up my camera.
Yeah, and you know, and I think that's what it is, that when we look into things because of historics, we always sell ourselves short based off of the fact of what we've been said. We can't, and always, everybody, I'm pretty sure the five of us in this camera, one way or another, one time or another, somebody said, nah, you ain't never gonna do that. 18 is your ceiling, or something to that effect. So when you keep on getting hit with those negative undertones, right? And that's the hypnotism of the mind. So when you don't see value and worth of yourself and self-worth, you're always winging it until something starts hitting where it's just like, yo, if we pay you this, would you now take it serious? Now that winging it now becomes, yo, let's stay super tight. No, let's build super tight so that our foundation never get blown off, and we create the platforms that we need to kind of, you know what I mean? So I say all that to say, y'all been a gem. Y'all been blessed. y'all been a blessing. You know, and I appreciate y'all. And, you know, we don't want to hold you too much longer. I know, Laray, you on vacation, brother. Enjoy that. You know what I'm saying?
Enjoy that.
You in a Tesla right now? You float. You look like you floating.
I had to hit the road.
You in a hovercraft?
Yeah.
Hey, he moving.
Hovercraft?
Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe.
Listen, this wasn't even an interview. This was a SoundMind Level Up TV roundtable.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna take it a step further. Yeah. This was a SoundMind's Level Up TV first brick. Yeah. So a whole different foundation. Whatever y'all need from us.
Together one day.
1,000%.
Y'all did
we
nothing. And it's crazy because
Definitely.
Everything that y'all spoke, I swear, it lines up for what we do on this show. We don't talk 100%. About that. We don't never talk about ourselves on the show and nothing like that. Right. So, like, it's just we just sit back and be like,
yo, there was some exclusive between Ryan.
We locked in. We locked in
today. I seen Route like hanging with my man Sarnetta. 125th. He uptown. He doing all type of things. I dig it, man.
You seen it coming.
Yo, you know Rod got like millions of plays on his songs. Like,
that's all he do.
Yo, people be sleeping like they don't know. They don't. Yeah, Teesh, we got that. That's something we gonna do. You know, as soon as possible, we gonna sit down in person and chop it up. Lights started coming up here for the studio sessions. You know what I mean? So y'all gonna be the first notice. You know what I mean? When we all together, we can sit down.
Yeah.
Y'all hear that, right?
Yeah, nah, it's that's my and I'll straight up tell you straight off the back, me personally, never broke a word in my life. If I ever said I promise, I promise. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
whatever
We gonna take y'all
Level
to
Up
lunch.
TV need, that's what we here for. You know what I mean? Now it's an extended family of SoundMinds, Level Up
going to lunch.
TV and SoundMinds together. Yeah.
We gonna go to lunch and do interviews. We're gonna have the camera set up.
Oh, that would be crazy.
We doing
food
something
champs.
crazy.
We gonna do food champs.
There you go. There you go. And I gotta be honest with you. I know Teesh, you was talking about how you used to roll up on people and Laray, you was talking about how people lips bubble up with sweat and all that. It kind of sound like when we ask some people to do their favorite 16s, people just no, you know what I mean? So
we gotta put you on the spot too. Like we've been doing with all our guests. If you've seen the show, we want you to be on the SoundMinds compilation. We're working on the SoundMinds compilation. We're including all of our previous guests, and
definitely.
whether I don't know if you want to spit bars.
It could be a drop.
Hold up.
It could be a
like I said, I'm a fan of the show, so I was waiting for that question.
Okay. So you already know what it is, and you know what it be.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
He got a drop for us early.
Yo, right.
No, listen,
they might need to be the first voices on the tape. You heard me? Like,
hey, this is the host of the tape. Hold up.
But listen. Like I said earlier, we got a great squad, and one of our teammates is one of the dopest up and coming producers in Connecticut.
Let's go.
Say less. I just found out about him today. Let's go.
Okay.
Say less.
So this you're like, I'm just saying
we with it.
We got a plan. We got a plan. We're not gonna wing this. I'm just saying there's a strong possibility we have a concept for the first intro of the whole compilation. Because the vibe is right. We want this
sound about right. Yeah.
The whole,
because y'all get to do the beat. Y'all get to be on the intro. We got the bars. It's all right.
Yeah.
Last question. I gotta ask the last question. And this is a little bit on the selfish side.
No, ain't
I'm
no
sorry.
question. What you mean?
I apologize.
We gotta go.
This is on the selfish side. This is the selfish side. In the group homes and in the schools, y'all could say personally, like a lot of people can't. What is the impact that these kids in the schools and those in the group home had from what they see on music videos and television and Instagram in terms of Black culture? What do you hear as the impact? What is it? Does it matter? Is it just entertainment? Do they look up to artists as like kind of role models in the group home and in the schools? Just a real question, and we'll talk more about it at the next episode.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
No, in the schools and in the group homes, absolutely. They definitely look up to artists and music. In the school, we use music as an outlet for the kids to if they are having behaviors and stuff to be able to calm down. Or like I have a student in my class who I call it a dance party from his van. He struggles coming to school. So I go outside with the Bluetooth speaker and pick a dope song and, have a whole dance party walking to class. Like, so music definitely plays a big role in the schools and the group homes.
Most def.
And from my perspective, like real talk, being a manager and being in multiple positions in this field, like that, we there. Like we in them homes, like the staff in these homes, they predominantly people that look like us,
right?
I mean, so we are that role model. And if the model that we showing is somebody that's engaged in music and is bringing that into the program, they get influenced by that. If it's a staff that they dig and they dress like this, they may want to dress like that too.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? The individuals that we deal with, they take good and bad influences, but most of the influences are from us because we the ones in there supporting them.
Right.
I want to say right there that
SoundMind.
this is what I tell my students. That's the power of hip hop, baby. Let's go.
Love it.
Like
That
that's
sound.
the.
That sound.
Listen, before we close out, I want to say we gonna definitely have Teesh back because we also gonna have to talk about how she is locked in with the junior Warhawks. She's
Yes.
also participating and helping the youth. She was a cheerleading coach. She's a part of football. She locked in with football. I grew up as a football player. She was my cheerleader as you know what I mean in high school, like for real.
Yep.
So like
I'm now on the board. I joined the board for the Bloomfield Junior Warhawks, which is, a team right now that's starting from scratch with Pop Warner. So, the Bloomfield, Bloomfield, they had the Raiders. But, the Bloomfield Junior Warhawks is strictly outside from the Raiders. We starting from the ground up, and we're about to do some things with this team.
Let's go.
Like, it's time to start having our Bloomfield players back. That I don't know if y'all know Bloomfield, but Bloomfield, they got the hottest football players. Them A1s, they come out of Bloomfield. Some of them.
Let's go.
Let's
go.
Some of Hartford too, but
Y'all so cute.
I
I don't know what's the opposite of sibling rival, like the sibling harmony. I think it's sibling harmony. But y'all is like a role model for siblings. Like y'all, I'm gonna hit up Jessica and look for my long lost sister after this call. Y'all putting people to shame. Like this is what you're supposed to be. Like
and not only that Teesh is well, first and foremost, you got a fan, my brother MVP, shouting you out and said, that's dope what you're doing with the music and all that at the dance party. You know what I mean? So you got comments coming in. Both of y'all got comments coming in with people saluting y'all on your efforts. But I don't know if y'all noticed the nice little ice pick in the side, right? That's power talk right there. T said, I am now on the board, which means whenever we want changes to be made, we need to put ourselves out there on boards and be part of the decision making. Understand that. We can't keep on constantly complaining about everything that's happening without us putting the commitment and effort to even be a part of the change. So shout out to you for even making that power move right there. That's power talk right there.
We definitely listen, just like we had a basketball episode, we're gonna have a football episode. We're gonna have on an episode with maybe some coaches or something like that. AKA Breeze. Breeze better be ready to come through.
No, he's ready. He's ready.
So yeah.
Yesterday. He
definitely got to do that. Yeah. So we definitely got to do that, man. Listen, this was a great episode, man. I had a lot of fun, and listen, it was an honor. It was an honor to have my sister, my blood sister.
Love y'all. Y'all not my blood.
Oh, you guys are related?
But
yeah,
that's crazy.
Same mother, same father.
You stupid.
Oh, that's crazy.
You stupid. Stop doing that.
Yeah, this whole time I ain't know that. No, that's dope, man. I love that love, and y'all definitely like my brother Kai said. Y'all definitely a model for siblings to understand that love is needed from all of us. You know what I mean? Laray, you good, man? I seen some lights flashing, brother.
Hold up.
This dude is in outer space right now.
We wouldn't have been able to do this live if I wasn't.
Okay.
We are now staying on. We're live reporting.
Right now.
Hold on, we're live reporting. We're staying on right now. We're seeing flashing lights. We're gonna pause for at least 30 seconds to make sure he did not make a U-turn. Okay.
You know what I mean? That's that Pavlov, man. We see them lights. We already instantaneously start thinking, damn, what the hell did he do? What did I, you know what I mean? Like, we start feeling guilty, man. You know what I mean? So I was guilty. I was thinking, like, yo, who flashing lights behind me?
Drop your phone in your lap if need to, okay?
Right, yeah.
They found out he was on the SoundMind podcast talking some consciousness.
Trying to stop his greatness.
We good? We good, Laray? We good?
Yo,
we good.
Speaking of lights, y'all shining bright. Y'all in the SoundMind's constellation. I think it's apparent to everybody tuning in. When you shine your light, we shine more bright, whether you standing next to us or not. Just know that always. I love y'all family, regardless. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just glad we needed to do this sooner, so we gonna do it more. You know what I mean? And you may be looking at the 2 introduction hosts of the SoundMind compilation right now because you felt that energy.
And with
Let's
that
get it.
I'm done.
and with that being said, we will see y'all next week in a 1 and a 2 and a 3
SoundMind
SoundMind.
and Level Up CTV. Let's get it.